Hello class, we find ourselves with another video, and this time it's in reference to the web design class. On this particular video, what we'll try to do is look into a little more on the plugins, identify some of them that we currently use, some of them that we will have to look for, and exactly how are these things done. So essentially, plugin is nothing more than a little script that somebody has created in order to add to your WordPress site, whether that's to enhance the end user on the front end of your website, or if that is to enhance the admin on the back end to make it a little more easier on him or her as they maintain the website. So the plugins again is on the left hand pane right here, and what I could do is I could look on installed plugins, look for any new plugins or the editor. Now, first thing I want to comment on is even though that you may have the plugin installed onto your WordPress site, it may not necessarily be inactive. What does that mean? Notice that on the plugins here, I show a total of 14, but currently only 6 of those plugins are in active state, meaning they are currently live on the WordPress site, whereas 8 of those are not activated. And the reason so being is because at times what you'll do is you'll pull a plugin into your WordPress site, install it, and then you'll activate it, and you'll see if indeed A, that plugin will work on your current WordPress version, and B, is this actually providing you a function that you would like to keep on your website. So I can also sort it down further on just only showing my active plugins that are currently installed and up and running. Now this is why I have the option of deactivate those plugins. If we deactivate a plugin that we're currently not using or will not use, it removed it since I'm sorting by it, tells me I deactivated it, and also a recently active, because I just deactivated 2 plugins in the last 7 minutes. If I wanted to go into my inactive that are currently is not activated, it's the same type of scenario. I can come in here and look based upon the creator of the plugin, how the description is made, the version that is provided on. If there's any new versions, regardless if it's active or not active, it will provide that to you as well. As you can see on this event calendar, there's a new version already available. I can update it now, or I can come up here and they also tell me all the available updates regardless if it's a plugin or not. So what does these look like in the front end? Let's look at the active ones currently that are in use. So this calendar displays a calendar of events and appointments. So if I look on the front end of the web page, this is where I have placed a calendar. Okay. The Encyclopedia Lite is also what I use on this particular one. As you notice, it's a wiki or a dictionary. I happen to come across this by accident. It's a free version. All of these are free versions, by the way. And what it allows me to do is once it was activated, it provided me the lexicon on this side. And I could choose that lexicon and add specific words of interest, basically as a name or all that. So example here is a web page. What I did was I basically added the specific web page, and then I put a little bit of information on here, even at the excerpt level. And what this particular plugin allowed it to do was, let me go ahead and do a search real quick. Anytime that web page was in any post or article already within the website, it would automatically create a hyperlink. And what that hyperlink does is either it takes you into that little page similar to what we see here, or allows you to hover over and it gives you that information that you put in also on the excerpt. What was interesting about this plugin was that once I added that verbiage that I was interested in applying more information on, it went into even the existing post that was already posted. So it was not one of those type of scenarios where as you activated it from that point forward, it provided it to you. It actually did a retro and all through the website. So that's a cool plugin, just to give you an idea. Um, the calendar, I already showed that. The quiz, this is the quiz. This is how I was providing a simple quiz on that. If we want to look at that particular deal, let's choose edit instead, because what I want you to show here is normally you will not ever go into the edit mode other than on the right hand side here it will show you all the files that was created in order to create this plugin. Generally what I was want to show you is that many of these has a readme on here that will actually provide you additional information in regards to the plugin, but it's based upon the creator and how he creates the plugin. So this one did not have a readme text file on here that I could gain a little more information on. Let's try a different one real quick. If I go in the edit for the calendar, what you do see here on the right hand side, only two files was actually utilized or used in order to create the plugin. It was a PHP file and a JavaScript. This readme text is simply a text file that provides you additional information on the plugin. I wanted you to be aware of that sometimes you can glean some more information on the plugin by it. Also, normally, not always, the creator of the plugin will also create a whole web page or even a website with additional information on it. So, in order for us to look at some additional plugins that we might be interested in, we don't necessarily have to know the exact name of the plugin that we're looking for. Sometimes there's plugins out there that we're not even familiar with that could enhance our website. It may be something to the interest of the specific category or the genre that you're looking for. So, for example, know on your website you do game reviews, but you don't have to always just create content as far as articles and videos. You could also possibly look for plugins that might actually have free games involved, and then put these plugins into your website, and then you would go tell your friends, family, whomever, or even on Facebook forums, etc., that you have these available online games on your website that they can come play with for free, and that'll attract additional viewers onto your website. I have not tried any of these games. I'm just doing this. Let's see what happens here. So this is what we can find. So this was a game of 15. It has no reviews or anybody talking about it. So either that could be one of two things. It may not be as popular as ones. It's only 3 months old, or it might not be that well. It just depends. So we don't know. Here's a Wii games budget. To plug in. Replaced by schedules a scoreboard. So this gives information about games. Alright. So again, this is a retro game emulator. Has three deals on here. Untested of your version. That's the other thing that you want to watch for. Even though the plugins may be able to be installed and activated, it still might not work correctly based upon the version that we have as well. Just another thing to look at. Most of these appear to be untested with our version. I did try this online games. It looks pretty cool, but it wasn't working with my WordPress version. Um, let's try this one. So let's say there's a plugin that we can install it. By installing is just simply installing onto your WordPress site itself, meaning that all the files that we've seen before is onto your WordPress in the proper location in order for it to run. We still had to activate it. So let's hit activate to go ahead and put this game into our website and activate it. Depending upon the plugin, we have seen before is sometimes it'll add an additional thing on the left hand panel for us to use, or may not. When we're not really familiar with the game, we'll go ahead and choose edit and see if there's any readme text on the right hand side. We do see one readme text. Let's see what it says. As an NES player on your site, shortcode. Here's the shortcode in any post or page. Note that no ROMs are included with this plugin. So don't necessarily know what that means, but we're going to try this out. It also implements the JNS library, and it gives us a link here that we possibly could go into. So the installation is the upload the folder to plugins directory, activate it, which we've already done, place the shortcode NES wherever you would like the player to show. Okay, so I'm going to try this out. Let's add a new post, and I'm going to say test game. And again, on our post, if we do any codes, we go into the text, not the visual portion of it. And let's go ahead and put in our shortcode in here, because our plugin's installed, it's activated. It should work, but let's try it. I'm going to go ahead and put it into the main category, hit publish. Now I'm going to go back into the front end and go into our main category. We see our test game. Let's go ahead and look at that post and see what it looks like on the front end. And this is what it looks like on the front end, just for that NES shortcode. So we have our controls on this side. Player left, right. Select a ROM. It says working. Enable sound. And I don't see anything on here. So this very well may not work with the version of WordPress. And that's the way it goes. Alright. But again, this is just an example of plugins. This is something that unfortunately you will have to go in and check out and attempt to do. I will go ahead and actually remove this. I'll move that to trash because it doesn't work. So I got rid of that whole post. And then I'm going to go back into my plugins. So now I know that this particular plugin is not working for me. I'm going to go ahead and deactivate that plugin. At this point, it is now unactivated in a WordPress site. And what I can even go even further to do, if I wanted to, was go and find it once more and delete it, as you see here. I'll go ahead and delete that, confirm it, and now it has been totally deactivated as well as uninstalled from the WordPress site. So class, this is just a look at plugins. What I also might suggest you to do is go on a Google search and just simply apply WordPress plugins, maybe even your WordPress plugins version, and do a search on that way to kind of give you an idea of some of the names of the plugins that are available out there, and then come back into your WordPress site and you can do a search for add new. So if you wanted to look at your version up here on the left hand corner about WordPress on that little icon, and then it'll give you specifically what version that you're currently up. Okay, that's it class, good luck, and if you have any questions or concerns you can always reach out to me.